Welcome to 5 Minutes in the Word, a daily devotional in the Word of God.
Logan, I know you love the Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Psalms as well. They really are a source of great hope.
Yeah.
And Psalm 18, of course, is very lengthy. We'll never be able to cover the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. It's the longest psalm that we've done to date.
Yeah, today. Yeah, we're not to Psalm 119 yet, but yeah, it's a long one. But I want to read these opening verses, and then maybe you can give me an idea of why he's able to say some of these things. I will love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. How does he get there?
Well, that's a really good song, by the way.
It is.
Included in verse 3. But really, those verses are David's delight in God, how he just loves God for all the things that he's done for him. And here in Psalm 18, we finally get to see how David describes some of the things that the Lord has done for him. In verse 7, this is David opening up a discussion, or not really a discussion, but his words on how the Lord is finally arriving, because it seems like we've built to this point to where David is calling out to God, said, God, come rescue me, come save me, come help me defeat my enemies.
Right.
And then finally, the Lord arrives. And just how David pens a description of how the Lord is rescuing him is very powerful.
It is.
In verse 7, then the earth reeled and rocked, and foundations of the mountains trembled and quaked, because he, being the Lord, was angry. Smoke went from his nostrils, devouring fire from his mouth, glowing coals flamed forth from him. So the Lord is very evident, or David's very evident in picturing the Lord as being angry. Skipping down to verse 9, thick darkness was under his feet, like black smoke coming forth from him. In verse 10, we see that angels are described as being with him as he rode in on cherubim and flew. And then finally, verse 12, out of the darkness before him, hailstones and coals of fire broke through his cloud. So the Lord is on his way. David's enemies are not in for a good day. Then finally, 16 through really the rest of the chapter is just one big theme of the Lord assisting David in victory. Verses 16 through 19, David really is expressing how the Lord places him in safety. He sent me on a high, and he took me. He drew me out of many waters. That's verse 16. Verse 17, he rescued me from my strong enemy and from those who hated me, for they were too mighty for me. They confronted me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a broad place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. And we'll see later in verses 43 through 49, it's kind of the same picture here. And then finally, verses 20 through 28, probably my most favorite part of this psalm, really because David is rewarded for maintaining favor in God's eyes. We see in verse 20, the Lord dealt with me according to my righteousness, and in the cleanliness of my hands he rewarded me. Really 21, I have kept the ways of the Lord and have not wickedly departed from my God. In verse 22, the phrase, his statutes I did not put away from me. I was blameless before him, and I kept myself from guilt. And here is really the overall theme of it all. So the Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanliness of my hands in his sight. And then finally, one more time, verse 29, for by you I can run against a troop, and by my God I can leap over a wall. Here, David is able to defeat his enemies with the help of the Lord. And starting in 29, going through verse 40, you can actually see the pronouns that David uses. In 29, we see, by you I can run against a troop, and by my God I can leap over a wall. Verse 32, the God who equipped me with strength and made my way blameless. He made my feet like the feet of a deer and set me secure on the heights. He trains my hands for war, so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze. You have given me the shield of your salvation, and your right hand supported me, and your gentleness made me great. You gave a wide place for my steps under me. And here we're going back to Psalm 15, Psalm 16, in which our feet are not going to move. And when David says in verse 36, and my feet did not slip. And then finally, verse 43 through 49, a part of David's reward for being righteous in the sight of the Lord, he's made a ruler over many nations. And in verse 50, the concluding verse of the psalm, great salvation he brings to this king and shows steadfast love to his anointed, to David and his offspring forever.
That's really, really beautiful, and kind of gives us hope. As you were talking about that and reading that, I thought about some New Testament characters.
Yeah.
Like Paul, who gets a vision from the Lord, and the Lord says, don't be afraid. I've got a lot of people here. And you kind of imagine, God's going to take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you did here. Thank you so much for helping us see this passage.